In 1979, in Elbert County, Georgia, United States of America, a stone monument would be raised. A stone monument that appeared to have 10 directions for ruling humanity in the future. Guidelines, if you will. Join me and my friends as we discuss the origins, the history, and the possible meaning of the Georgia Guidestones. There's all of us. Big crew today. My name's Samuel. What's your guys' names?
Ryan.
Cabbage or Riley.
Cody.
Cabbage. Stan.
And welcome
We
back.
got another guy named Cabbage.
So we got a few changes I'm making to the pod. Now, I'm going to take out the video game stuff that we talk about at first. I think I'll probably turn that into a second podcast altogether. So we're going to be pretty strictly conspiracies from here on out. But I'd still like to know how everybody's doing. Ryan's apparently working again, decided that he's going to be a contributing member of society.
Woo. Yeah, baby.
What are you doing? You still doing directional drilling?
All day, bun. All fucking day and night.
Right
He's
on.
cocking the whip a bit more.
Yep. What are you slamming
Let's do
through
it.
roads?
We're doing
What's
lots
the
of
gas
little
line?
communities. I didn't do shit. Look at me like that.
Cody, what's new with you?
Not a lot. Still doing the Apex stuff.
Got a couple weeks off work because you've been Rona exposed.
Apparently, that's what I was told. So
There you go.
vacation.
Vacation.
Podcast.
Yeah. You gonna apply for the cert?
Me?
You should. It's money.
I'm pretty sure it's just part of the. Wait, what are you talking about? Are you talking about that money they were gonna give you?
Yeah. Emergency response benefit.
Yeah, wasn't that like $500? I'm pretty sure I did that already.
Sure. It's better than zero.
Yeah, I
You
already
did
did
it?
that.
Okay. Cool. Riley, what's new with you?
Not much. Just been trying to get better at Apex 2.
I love how
Oh,
bright your
that's
screen
good.
is. You look like Nosferatu.
There. I just got Wikipedia open for the Guidestones.
Are you working right now, Riley?
Nope.
None. Okay.
Been
Just
looking
a
for
drywall
work.
broad right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
just-
We've talked about this. Yeah.
Just been doing renos, yeah.
Yeah. Renovating the shizzle. Mr. Stanley,
Yeah.
how are you? You look sore.
Always. We just went afloat and did a lot of paddling so we could try and make it a bit faster. I could get back home.
Right.
So my neck is kind of sore and I am very burned.
I
I don't know
believe
what you
that.
can see, but like,
Oh,
yeah, no, it's completely
man.
white.
He's
There we go.
burpy. Who's
No,
a
we can
burpy
see
by?
that.
Oh,
I've
pretty
been
red.
there, man. Oh, lobster style.
It doesn't feel too bad. It's kind of warm, but that's about it.
We should make a thumbnail here. Let's everyone make a face. On three. 1, 2, 3.
My stumpy tongue.
You even
Okay.
fucking have it on you.
Skits. Okay, so today's episode is on the Georgia Guidestones. Now, many people have visited the Georgia Guidestones in the past, and we wonder, is it a testament to a new world order conspiracy? Is it a piece of the Rosicrucian whatever people order? The Rosicrucian order? Or is it just some rich guy who was pretty sure that we were all gonna, what do you call that? Die? You know, just get fucking murdered by the nuclear armaments during the Cold War time. So, I'm sure we've all done various amounts of reading on this, right?
Various.
Safe
Yeah.
assumption.
Cody's-
Safe
as Cody's
assumption.
screen brightens up, he pulls out the wiki.
Didn't do my homework. No, I did not.
That's okay.
I'm going off of stuff that I read years ago when I was first looking at this crap.
Perfect. Let's go off the top of Stanley's mind to start. Tell us about the Georgia
Yeah,
Guidestones.
Stanley.
All
So
off
from what I
top.
remember, like you just said, a really, really rich dude called up a granite making company and just wanted them to make these stones and stick them in there to sort of leave behind like some information and some guidelines for a following civilization, because he assumed at the time, it seems, that we were all going to fucking die to presumably a nuclear war, like you mentioned with the Cold War. And I guess that didn't happen, so they're still there and they're still totally crazy. But They're written in several different languages, and it's all just like the new, not quite commandments, but like I said, like a guideline for their guidestones, right? To just rules for a following civilization to read and follow.
Not to have too many people.
Yeah, like 500 million people for the entire world is the cap.
Right.
Yeah, we're only a few times over that.
Right. So they had the conversation. Was that guy's name was RC Christian, right?
Yeah.
And then he approached Joe. What was that guy's name? Joe Fendley.
Fendley.
Yes. And he walked up to him and he was like, "A good day, sir. My name is R.C. Richard. I would like to commission
Christian.
your granite." Yes. Shit.
Uh,
Thank you for correcting me, though we've never met before. I would like to commission your company in order to create some massive monumental feat of mankind. It's a beautiful thing. And then the granite company didn't want to do it at all. They...
It's a lot of granite.
Yeah, they ended up quoting him, what was it, like $500,000 or something? It's 237 metric tons, I believe. No, 107 metric tons.
I don't think the actual amount was actually disclosed, but
Yeah,
it was
that's
just Fendley in an interview just stated that it was in the six figures, the high six figures.
Right. So it's
And
nearly...
he didn't seem to be very much against it. Like some of the interviews that I looked at just recently, just to try and freshen up,
Right.
were him talking about, him talking about the controlling the population to try and make sure that resources are spread out and maintainable, just so we don't run out, because there's the time where they were saying we were running out of all natural resources and we're going to destroy the world and we're all going to fucking die to either nuclear apocalypse or everything's going to run out and we're all going to fucking starve, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He was also talking about how the world's going to heat up. He said in 10 years, and he said, then he corrected himself, said, no, wait, in 30 years, probably the world's going to be like 8 to 10 degrees hotter and nobody's going to be able to grow crops and everyone's just going to fucking die.
That's Joe Fendley?
And the survivors, this was a statement that he made in a video interview.
Right.
And he was saying that the survivors will be like cannibals and it'll be an absolutely terrible time. And he said they wanted to leave these guidestones behind.
That was a conversation that he had with RC Christian?
No, that was somebody asking him about the stones. This was an interview, like I said. Just
yeah, he's that small town Georgian attitude, but nobody actually knows what their motivation was behind it. Yeah, right. Could be like Masonic in origin.
Yeah, anything.
I
Honestly,
it'd be cool.
Yeah. And then also that just
find a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, and it brings in a ton of tourism, right? Like they get like 100,000 visitors a year, but the town's only 4,500 people large. So, but it wasn't built as a tourist attraction. Otherwise, because there was no advertisement done at all. Yeah.
Just kind of was there eventually. Eh?
Yeah. If I wanted to advertise it, I'd hang a shirtless Ryan from it.
That would be.
Dope.
Well, yeah.
Like, who was the first guy to like walk across this and be like, "Oh,
well,
that's fucking new."
It was actually erected, so there was a reveal ceremony that had anywhere between 100 to 500 people showed up or something, which sounds to me like the municipality was like, there was hundreds of people here, but there was like 3 families, like, wow. Everyone else is just probably getting stoned and shoveling, refuse and litter from yesterday's hunt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I gotta go see this one day though. It's pretty cool. So the Guidestones themselves have 4 ancient languages inscribed on top, which I assume we're going to be used as like a cipher to go back and forth through them. Goodbye forever, Mr. Stanley. And then they have 8 more modern languages written on the sides. Where is it? Explanatory, astronomical figures, time capsules. Oh, there's a time capsule there too, without the date filled out, so there may or may not be something under there. So when we go,
the words appear as shown under the time capsule heading. No dates are engraved.
That's right. And it's got all these astronomical features on it too, like a channel through the stone indicates the celestial pole, or the Polaris, the North Star. Horizontal slot indicates the annual travel of the sun, and then it's a calendar throughout the year. So there's like this little sunbeam will come through and land on the date, and then
Jesus.
what was it? There's a few other things about it, and then it tells you at noon, right? There's like a wide slot, and then when a sunbeam comes through that every day, that's noon. So it's got some features to it too. I was wondering about like the shape of these things too. Like someone would look into the numbers, like the way that the pyramids have like special features to do with the numbers. Someone should really look into that. Because I'm not gonna. It's too much homework. But
So
yeah.
what's your thought on any like conspiracies behind this thing?
I think that RC Christian was an alien. No. No, I honestly, it
Bold
could
decision.
be. It's so it's really open to interpretation. Like I want to believe that he was approached by a conglomerate that wants a new world, but I don't know. It does just sound like pretty good advice for ruling a future world, except for that first one where we have to delete like 80% of the population currently. That I think is probably not cool. So we'll know in 10 years if there's only 20% of us left, then this is definitely like a new world order conspiracy thing, guaranteed.
Well, the idea behind the limit was that we were already all going to be dead, right?
Yeah,
it's
I
a
was gonna
post-apocalyptic
Well,
guideline for a following civilization.
So it's supposed to
That's the
last.
theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's the 10 commandments
It's like
of the new
there's
world, man.
guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity,
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what the vaccine's
Unite-
for, right?
unite humanity with a living new language.
No, I was just heard it at work the other day.
It pretty much
there to
seems like it's
sterilize
all
us.
about nationalism and
Yeah.
And I read all the little.
Tell us, Mr. Political. Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
Well, it's like everybody.
Let's
should
go,
speak
Claire.
One unified language that we just all agree on, and like they
Yeah.
only have this many people, and
Real
know,
passion,
well,
faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Tempered reason.
Tempered. Who gets to decide how tempered it is?
Oh, I should probably.
To these guys.
Like, who's this conglomerate? What do they want?
Well,
Do they want
so I've
only
actually
500,000,
That's
500
the theory.
million to control?
One second. I gotta look through this because I know that Rosicrucian order. Here it is. So someone has proposed that there it is. The Guidestones have become subject of interest for conspiracy theorists. One of them is an activist named Mark Dice, blah 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 blah, claiming blah 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 blah. RC Christian belongs to a Luciferian secret society. The New World Order, that's another one, right? These are all possible. At the unveiling of the monument, a local minister proclaimed that he believed the monument was for sun worship or for cult worship and the devil worship. Conspiracy theorist Jay Widener has said that the pseudonym of a man who commissioned the stones, RC Christian, resembles Ross Cross Christian or Christian Rosencreuz, the founder of the Rosicrucian order. So that could have been like a anagram for his name. So maybe it's like the remnants of the Rosicrucian order, you know, which is
What are
all
the
Rosicrucian Christian, I guess.
Rosic-
RC Christian.
yeah, exactly, right. Other people have said it marks they're the 10 commandments of the Antichrist, which is almost something like that. That's something that like Jung talked about in Collective Unconscious, right? The idea that the first 2,000 years of this aeon or whatever has been dominated by the first fish in the Pisces constellation, which marks the age that we're in right now. And so that the first half would be represented by the perfect representation of consciousness, which we have attributed as like the Christ figure, the Messiah, Jesus. And that the second half would be a slow decline into the Antichrist when it comes to the collective unconscious, like shaping the world in the future. Yeah. So, I mean, could be the 10 commandments of the Antichrist put there by the New World Order because Obama's eating babies and stuff, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Of course.
Goats, my goats.
100%. Yeah.
Of course.
Got to get that adrenochrome.
God, he has so many wrinkles. He has to try and get rid of them.
Yeah, that's fair. What does anyone else think about this thing?
I think it seems like a rich guy with a lot of money would do something pretty funny or memorable. You know, maybe there was a legitimate cause behind it, but like in all honesty, it seems like a guy just swinging his dick around. And
But okay, I thought about that too.
Nothing about that.
What if if he wanted a rich guy and he wanted to be like, oh, it's my monument or whatever, why wouldn't he put his name on it? Why would he use an anonymous benefactor? Right?
Maybe he's that rich that he's already had a bunch of full name benefactors. So I mean, he wants some anonymous ones out there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think
love to his
I think whoever did it wanted to remain secret, right? And so that it was probably a group. Even though secret societies usually don't build giant stone monuments to mark their territory, you know, like the Washington Monument or
well, I'm guessing it'd be a group because it'd take a few people to fund it in all likelihood.
I think of the Masons.
Go ahead.
I think of the Masons. Yeah, they're the ones who built the stuff, and they're like, oh, look, and then they stamp their thing on it, right? It's someone trying to do that, or
if it was Freemason related, they would have
slapped that compass and eye on it for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like they would have made it known that it was a Freemason idea to try and propagate the idea that then in the new world there will be this uniform order that follows these rules, these guidelines.
Yeah,
it'll be our world.
Yeah,
but again,
but if it was like the New World Order, then maybe they wouldn't, right?
Like the sixth commandment just kind of makes me laugh. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Like, let them be themselves until.
Do we have something like that now? It's called like the ICC, and then it's pretty much just a place where like nations are like, he attacked me, and then the other nation's like, no, and they're like,
ICC.
Well, we cannot draw any conclusions. Like nothing ever happens, or they can like impose sanctions on someone, and then the other country has to choose to actually pay those sanctions.
I'm most interested in rule number 8: balance personal rights with social duties.
Now that is something that
socialism all day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if it was marking the 10 Commandments of like a new age, say like this century that we're living in now, then that's something that does seem to be coming. I mean, like, look at our current situation being in lockdown and stuff, right? It's like, which is taking precedent, our rights or our social duty? And it's definitely the social duty, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, I wear my mask for you.
That's kind of the basis of a society, though, is like, you can't have an expanding culture and a society without sort of limiting personal freedom in favor of group benefit.
Yeah.
Like that's how societies grow and flourish, is by the individual sacrificing for the greater good of the entirety.
Yeah, it's somewhere between the individual and the collective, but you get too far to one side and now you have a mighty tyrannical system. Though I think last century was a good mark of like individual freedoms and so on in America, right? Most prosperous nation, just like, I don't know, going around the world delivering freedom at the end of a thermobaric rocket.
Freedom.
Yeah.
There,
I don't know, man.
It's weird. It's weird.
Also, what does it mean? Avoid petty laws and useless officials.
Well,
I like that.
Like laws like, hey, by the way, grass will make you go to jail for 10 years. All politicians? Yeah, get rid of them all. We'll just keep like, I don't know, we'll keep an elected official we get to like throw stones at once a year just to make ourselves feel better about him messing everything up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We'll be like lottery officials, right? It's like, oh, who gets the stoning this year? And it's you. And then you have like 10 months to try and fix the country. And then when you fail, we stone you to death. Is that a little barbaric?
Sounds sick.
It sounds like, I think we've tried that already. I don't know if it worked out.
I know. I think Sleepy Joe would be dead before we get to the stoning.
Oh, I know what we could do. We can go over and ask the Taliban that are in control of Afghanistan now.
Oh, no.
Imagine being there for 20 years and not actually winning again. Like, America, why did we do this in Vietnam and Afghanistan? There's no way that they lose, right? That had to be like a strategy. They had to be like, I think maybe we just don't win. And they left, right?
I don't think they read any Napoleon before they went over.
I don't think they even read any of their own. I can't wait to see what they messed up over there.
They maybe read 33 rules of war before going over, but
yeah, which is the most
they
important
went
one.
over with
No, they went over with those thermobaric rockets I was talking about. Freedom!
They definitely had a rock song going.
Yeah.
They felt they couldn't lose.
It was probably pour some sugar on me.
Oh yeah.
I'm hot, sticky, sweet.
Burn them down to their knees.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
What other conspiracies have you been keeping track with lately, Sam?
Well, oh my god,
You
dude.
gotta
Okay,
tell me
next
ones.
week we're doing Operation Gladio. I just thought you guys should all know that. Not
Hey, what the
necessarily
fuck
a
is
conspiracy.
Operation Gladio?
I'm not. I mean,
We'll
I
We
kind
can't-
of want to
discuss
save
next
it for
week.
next week. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. We're
learn
gonna
on
look
your
into
own
it.
time. Just don't speak about it.
Yeah.
Everyone start clicking links on this wiki and see what else we can do. So the 4 languages that are at the top of the
There's more than
Yeah.
4, right?
the 4 that
Well,
are on the
there's 8
capstone.
main,
4 that are on the
like 8
capstone.
modern.
Well, so one's Babylonian cuneiform, which can be that can be used to translate back into the Rosetta Stone and get like Sumerian and Assyrian and those ones as well. You can
Classical Greek.
you could use it in conjunction with those stones. Yeah, classical Greek, Sanskrit, and ancient Egyptian in hieroglyphs, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still am perturbed that we can actually figure out Egyptian hieroglyphs, but I guess it's just glyphic phonetic or something. I don't know. Let's just start listing off the physical data here. The overall height is 19 feet 3 inches. That's 5.87 meters for Canadians that don't work in construction. Total weight of 237,746 pounds. That's 107 metric tons. 4 major stones are 16 feet 4 inches, 1.98 meters high, each weighing an average of 42,437 pounds. This is why that company was like, no, we don't want to do this. Here's 5 times the price or whatever. And then, R.C. Christian was like, little did you know, I have a bottomless pocket. Yeah, he paid for the whole thing.
That company fucking ate well for the rest of their lifetime.
They must be happy.
Oh, I don't know.
What do you
about
mean, the
that.
company?
It's a massive
The
corporation.
owner-
Like,
The owner stacked his kids up.
Yeah,
The workers were just like,
show family.
Yeah.
Christian was
workers
like
are
that.
still in the same spot.
yeah, capitalism
initially
exists
try
to
to
separate the
discourage
worker
them.
from
Yeah.
the means of production.
That
Right.
Joe
Proper,
Findlay of
man.
Elberton
Crazy
Granite
shit.
assumed that Christian was a nut and attempted to discourage him by providing a quote for the commission which was several times higher than any project the company had previously taken,
Mm-hmm.
explaining that the Guidestones would require additional tools and consultants. To Findlay's surprise, Christian accepted the quote. When arranging payment, Christian said that he represented a group which had been planning the Guidestones for 20 years and which wanted to remain anonymous. So there you go. Straight up, it was representing a group.
Yeah,
it sounds like
it's not-
some
that's right.
masonry shit.
It does. But again, they would slap their name on it, man. I'm telling you, it's the Obama
Have the little-
baby eater
have the
New
little
World
V
Order
sign on
for
it.
sure. It's got to be the New World Order, whatever that is.
Oh, what were those YouTube videos?
We're just
Right.
a bunch of rich guys.
We also got to do an episode on the Denver airport, man,
Why?
because it's the Denver airport.
Denver International Airport. It's got the Freemason symbol right on it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's got a blue horse that killed a guy when it stuck it up there. And the
Wait. Where is this plaque that I'm looking at right now? Which has March 19th, 1994, which was when it was erected, right? Or was that the airport? It talks about the time capsule.
We're talking about March 19th, 1970. Wait, 1979 at
1994.
Albert County. Are you still Are you talking about Denver Airport now?
I'm not sure. There's this picture I found that has the Freemason symbol on it, and it's tied to the
Georgia Guidestones?
Georgia Guidestones, and it's talking about the capsule that you were talking about. The time capsule beneath this stone contains messages and memorabilia to the people of Colorado in 2094. So 100 years from now, and it's got the Freemason symbol right on it.
Oh, is that on the capstone? Let me look
I don't
at
know where I
stuff.
found this. Let me send it to you.
Yeah, do so. Can you do it over Messenger?
Yes.
Boom.
Have you guys ever watched the I Pet Goat
I am a
YouTube
goat.
vids?
No, I pick
Well-
goat. Why? Are they conspiracies?
Just scroll down to about halfway, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Where'd the
Talking
videos
about-
go?
We're talking about goats.
Are you
No,
sending?
there
Did you
was
send
these-
it in Discord? Because if I close the screen, I lose all our faces, and then I'm a weirdo.
No,
Oh.
no.
Oh, I see.
I need it in like Facebook Messenger or something.
I guess I could try to do that.
So the
Might take a
common
minute, so
modern day
keep going.
languages for the Georgia Guidestones, by the way, are English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian.
No Japan on there.
Yeah, only countries of consequence. No, I'm just kidding. They got beat by Swahili for sure. How many Japanese people are there? I don't know if they have enough.
Probably
They're in
not.
the millions, right?
They got a lot.
Millions, yeah.
They have a high population density. They're just in there.
Yeah.
Place.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with New World Order made this.
New War.
The New World Order.
What else? Whoa. What's their next plan of attack for this?
Release a pandemic on the world and then force us all into servitude.
We're having a drink quick. We're back. So you hear everything though?
That's the way it's going.
New World Order isn't very original. There's a fucking light novel or comic book series that did this called crap.
There you go, Sam.
Utopia.
Oh,
And then they made it into a show on the British television, and it was really fucking weird. But it was the same premise of they released a controlled virus. They called it the Russian flu, said it was a flu variant. It wasn't quite
Russia's
real.
awfully close
It didn't
to
really
China.
do anything. It was just like a normal flu, but the propaganda in the show was so strong that they actually managed to spook the entire world to believe that the Russian flu that was more dangerous was real. And then the actual masterstroke of the plan was in the vaccine, which the first dose of the vaccine was completely safe. And then there was a second dose of the vaccine you would take that I think it would render impotent about 50% of the people, like 50% of the doses would make it so you couldn't have children anymore. And then they would have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. New pandemic, new vaccine takes 50% more of the population and renders them impotent, so on and so forth, until you get to a generation where so few people can have children that the world population is just dramatically reduced in the long run.
Right. And then those who retain power retain full reproductive capabilities and the ability to guide the future of mankind.
Precisely.
And in that way, Jeff Bezos becomes Abraham, father of nations.
Hooray. But yeah, this is like a TV show that played on British television.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. I'm reading this, what Cody sent here, and I'm going to read it out loud because I'm enjoying reading it. Who built the Georgia Guidestones? ? The grand unveiling of the Georgia Guidestones occurred on March 22nd, 1980. So that says 8 years after construction began, I guess. More than 30 years ago. Yet, very little awareness of it really circulated until maybe 2005, when the environmental movement became such a hot topic. Through this time, though, no one knew who actually commissioned the construction. All that is known is that the man named R.C. Christian who wanted to build it. R.C. is most likely short for Rose and Cross of Rosicrucianism, which is what I was saying, which is simply the precursor to what is known as Freemasonry today. Not surprisingly, a tablet not too far from the monument reads, "Let these be guidestones to the age of reason," which echoes the writing of the Thomas Paine, a prominent 18th century Freemason. The meaning of its message, although the 10 guides are somewhat vague, they raise 5 main areas of interest: sustainable development, new earth-based religion, world government system, eugenics or transhumanism to maintain the population of 500,000, and reducing 500 million, sorry. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. Reducing the population by 80 to 90%, definitely upwards of the 90% now, right? Whatever. You'd have to kill 7.2 billion people in order to get that.
Yeah.
There is no doubt environmental concerns should be a top priority for us all. However, in the case that it seems as though it can be used as a method of enforcing various laws and taxes to hinder the general public, and little by little begin reorganization of human life on this planet entirely. In fact, it is just a matter of time before the necessarily before the necessity for stronger partnerships to assume the preservation of the environment will cause an international unified body of decentralized power. However, one may argue that the United Nations is already a form of world government today, except for they can get their pee-pees slapped by a half autistic 12-year-old Greta Thunberg. Right? She just went in there, she gave them all shit. You're like, you guys are stupid. And they were like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and she was right.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God.
why did you destroy the planet? They're like, I don't know, money stuff. Except for China. China just sat there
Power?
like peasants.
Yeah.
China was thinking, why haven't you killed her yet? Like, what are you guys doing?
A good example of controlling the population under the guise of safeguarding nature was put forth in the Earth Charter and the subsequent Earth Summit of 1992, which gave rise to the Agenda 21, the agenda for the 21st century. Coincidentally, 1 year after the Earth Summit, a book was published by a premier think tank, a non-environmental organization called the Club of Rome. The book is called The First Global Revolution, and on page 104, it states, "The common enemy of humanity is man. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that population, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. All of these dangers are caused by human intervention, and it is only through changed attitudes and behavior that they can be overcome. Democracy is not a panacea. It cannot organize everything into its, and it is unaware of its own limits. Sacrilegious though this may sound, democracy is no longer well suited for the tasks ahead." Welcome, technocracy, corporatocracy.
Idiocracy.
That's why Jeff Bezos is king of the world, man. He's probably not even the richest guy in the world. He's just the only one that's declared his wealth or whatever. Come on, Jeffrey, you can do it. Pave the way, put your back into it.
Fuck their wives, drink their blood.
Come on, Jeff, get him!
Like,
Bo Burnham, fucking fantastic.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about that? I mean,
Freemasons are over him.
no, the idea that the Guidestones are linked to the Denver airport in this article and linked to the Agenda 21, the agenda for the 21st century to usher in a new age of mankind and a new form of global politics. Global rule?
I mean,
Global rule is the word.
Definitely makes sense. Like if the people up top there see there's something they can't sustain forever, they definitely got to take steps to start to fix it, right?
Yeah, I guess
maybe
like
that's what this is.
yeah, if you see California burning every year and the ocean rising to 200 feet within the next 50,
And a population you can't seem to feed.
yeah, and carbon's so thick you could, bury.
everything's going to be
Canada.
North Korea here soon.
Oh yeah, I don't think them. I don't. You think that we'll be exposed to that same thing? I don't know. I think if anyone's doing it, it would be us. As Western powers. I would say it'd be the first world nations once again, exploiting heavily the second and third world nations, the less wealthy, less influential countries. I think if it did come to it, that we were moving into a piece of the world or a piece of world history in which like a massive global authoritarian regime was rising, that it would be mainly first world countries oppressing every other form of country, right? Kind of like we already do. Like we don't let certain people have nuclear armaments, and we don't let them have like their own like systems of production, right? Like when I went to Vietnam, it's like that country is not poor in resources. They have tons of resources. They could be rich, but they're exploited by every other country because they have like rubber trees. So it's like, oh, we'll buy your rubber, and then now they're locked in, right? So they use that, and then we pay them a certain price, and they don't get to just inflate their own market because that's their market. And then when it comes to our market, we inflate it and we sell it usually double the price again, right? And then this repeats like throughout the world, right? So all these less fortunate countries are not poor, they're just exploited.
Mm-hmm.
And we call them poor. Just like me. I'm poor, but I'm just exploited. I work really hard. I work twice as hard.
Manufactured poverty is the name of the game.
Yeah. And to escape poverty is a long and arduous task, but I think anyone could do it. I'm well on my way.
You just gotta sacrifice your free time.
I sacrifice not only that, but like 35% of my money. I'd like that to be more. I'd like to make more money so I could give away even more, if that makes sense. And just maintain this living in super cheap basement suite thing for as long as I have to in order to make more money. Except for I want to buy a house. That way I can pay a house my own, it's an investment that I also live in.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I can join Jeff Bezos one day when I get to kiss his shoes.
You won't be bald like him though.
No.
That full head of
I will
hair.
100% be bald. Do you see this?
Yeah, I see the 5 head.
It's a 6 head for sure.
Oh no! I don't know. Yeah, I got a 4 head.
Okay, let's take a quick little break.
Coming back, Riley.
We'll be right back, folks. Okay, this time Stanley is actually back and we're ready to go. We all met Ryan's bearded dragon, who was basically invisible because he's bombarding him with 7 billion joules.
8 trillion.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the
Joules.
lizard.
What's the
You didn't get
measurement
to
for
see
you?
the
No, no one really
You
did.
don't-
No one
you don't
really
really-
did.
No one really.
No one got to see
I
it.
didn't even see him, really, honestly.
Okay, all right.
Under the light, yeah.
So we're show
You can go continue talking.
show the world. Look at him. Oh, he's cute. He's still small.
Little
Yeah,
guy.
he's fucking tiny.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can actually see him now. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can go full screen on this. I totally forgot.
Yeah, you can make it big.
Mhm.
That's what I do for my recordings. Okay, I have this. So let's go through everyone. Okay, all right. So we'll start with Ryan because he's right here for me. Ryan, what do you know about the Georgia Guidestones, and what do you think about them, and who do you think made them, commissioned them?
I think your little theory on what the fuck they're actually called, the Mason guys, is
Freemasons.
actually probably as close to real as there's gonna be for one. If it isn't that, then my best guess would be some eccentric rich guys who thought their wisdom would be best imparted on some stones that will take forever to erode.
Who was the richest
Which
dude in the
is-
70s?
There's probably a lot of pretty eccentric rich dudes in the 70s that had to. I feel like out of all the eccentric rich dudes, the 70s would have been like a prime time to be an eccentric rich dude.
They're all fucked up on LSD.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole
You know?
world was.
Everybody's
Yeah.
fucked up on LSD, partying, having good times. That's something I would think. That's something I could see some dudes like chilling in a hot tub, drinking
That'd be
weird mixed drinks too, thinking ideas of.
Yeah. And then they quoted me a measly $800,000.
A measly.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Cody, what do
Oh,
you
sorry.
know about it? What do you think about it? Who do you think made it, man?
Well, I mean, don't they say who made it? But I don't know, the Freemason thing makes sense, but honestly, not too sure.
Yeah.
Not really.
So do you think it was like the modern lodges too? Or
What
was
do you
it
mean?
like it was an even more secret sect of the Freemasons? Because you can like progress up them and get different colored sashes and badges and stuff, right? You can join
Yeah,
Freemasons.
I don't know enough about the Freemasons, to be completely honest with you.
I don't think anyone knows enough about the Freemasons. I think that's kind of part of the allure
Part
of
of
the
it?
Freemasons,
Yeah,
yeah. But
I
then you
guess,
just
yeah.
but then you join their club for 20 years and go nowhere. All you get is like a weird little thumb twiggle.
Isn't there like Freemason places here in Saskatoon, Ryan? That you
Everywhere.
would
Yeah,
join?
man.
Like
Almost
lodges?
almost everywhere.
Yeah.
They're built right by the river.
Yeah.
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 I know. The one day I was on YouTube and I got a weird ad. Is like join the Freemasons, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Right. I remember
This
getting
is
shit like
here?
that before too.
When
Yeah,
I
it's
spent
like-
too much time looking up YouTube videos on conspiracies and stuff back in the day, I used to get the same thing.
Get the same thing.
100%. So Riley, who do you think made them? What do you think they are? And
I'm just trying to. I keep fixing my setup. I'm sorry, but I think like I don't know who made them. I can't obviously that guy was presenting for a group, and I don't know whose cock and balls he was gobbling up at the time, but he definitely was a part of it, and he obviously believed in it. But oh fuck! I just smashed my mic. I don't know. I think it's for a new world order. Like I really think during the midst of the 70s, everyone really believed that the Cold War was gonna fuck everything up. Like
Yeah.
everything was done for.
Yeah.
You know, but everyone was like 500,000 or 500 million people was probably going to be like quite a large sum compared to what was going to be left. So
Yeah,
they probably just
100%.
were like whoever these rich guys were, maybe they had like, in their head, they're going out with the fucking times, they can't change the course of history. They can't stop this nuclear warfare that's about to happen. So their last ditch effort with their money, they're like, we'll put some Guidestones up.
Might as well do something with it, eh?
Right.
Yeah, but like to me, it's just like a last ditch to be like, this is what we all think collectively as a group. I don't know if it's a new world order. I don't know, whatever it may be, but like they're just trying to
Prepare the future of humanity.
Yeah, put forth what they think like the issues are at hand right now. Like everything with fucking environment changing, global warming, and all that. Everyone's gonna be running dry of fucking fresh water. So they're like, you know what, guys, I think 500 million is a good number. We can still be a good civilization. Like we can build big structures, but we're not gonna fucking die of thirst. So I don't know. It's a weird one though.
Fair enough. Mr. Stanley.
Weird one.
Oh, well,
Mr.
RC
Dehydrated.
Christian, clearly Rosicrucian, right? RC Christian. So, and that's already got ties to Freemasons. At the very least, the upper echelons, and it would have to be because they're wealthy as shit. To advance in the Freemasons, you have to be willing to throw money at all of their causes over and over and over again. It's kind of like a Scientology in that way. The more money you spend as a Freemason and the more crazy you get with their stuff, the higher you get in their ranks. But again, as for their purpose, whether it was to survive an orchestrated apocalypse or a naturally occurring one, climate disaster of some kind, meteor, whatever, what have you. Yeah, the idea was to leave something behind that would, like was stated earlier, cover up for the flaws of our current civilization with the mass expansion, so many friggin' people that it's completely ridiculous, and just how shitty our governments are, because we had no idea what we were doing when we made them, and they all kind of suck.
Yeah. I mean, Ronald Reagan was releasing crack at those times, so.
Implying the CIA still doesn't do that.
No, now it's opium for sure.
Absolutely not.
It's definitely opium now because we just
Mhm.
pulled out of Afghanistan, so we had access
That's
to
true.
95% of the world's opium supply, and then all of a sudden, for the next 20 years after the West went to the Afghanistan,
Fentanyl.
yeah, exactly, fentanyl from China, opium's crisis spread throughout Western civilization, and it is clear and obvious that
our heroin.
yeah, intelligence agencies
Mhm.
or and the military
That's how
industrial
they make
complex are selling it into the black market to fund black projects. That's what they did with MK Ultra. That's why there was so much LSD in the 70s, man. It was because of
Yeah.
MK Ultra. We just went over this on a podcast. I mean, it's
It was
100%
great.
what happened.
That was you and I saying.
That was. And then the next episode we talked about the results of like that little era
Yeah.
with the Cindy
That-
James.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, oh my God, what a terrible thing. And that's just what we've heard about now, right? So like imagine what they're doing right now, right? If they got mind
Yeah.
control already under lock and they have their science done on it, on how to delete memories and to traumatize someone's brain into being a malleable thing in your hand, like what are they doing now? Now they're
They're putting it into action.
yeah.
But yeah, trust them. It's wear mask. It's saving lives.
Yeah. But then you
I
would
didn't
think
cough on someone.
you would think though that if just to like link it up or whatever, but the like if we were trying to get rid of the world population, then you should make them not wear a mask, right?
Yeah,
In theory.
I've struggled with that idea too.
Dude, for like the first few months of lockdown, that's what I was doing. I wasn't wearing a mask. I was like, well, hopefully it
Well,
works. But
Unless it's the utopia theory, you know?
Yeah.
Because they could have orchestrated the disease. It was supposedly created in the Wuhan lab under what's gain of function research. So they were just taking a virus and seeing what they could evolve it into, made a more dangerous variant, released it to the public.
right.
Instead of creating a fake virus, they created a real one. But then the trick is all in the vaccine. So as the vaccine grows and gets more complicated and less understood by the general public, and they don't want to ask about it anymore because by and large people will just be taking it, like there'll always be holdouts.
They're sick of the
20% ish.
fear. They want to be over it.
Yeah. So in the vaccine will be the masterstroke of making people non-reproductive. What's the word?
Right.
Infertile.
Infertile. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
So what you're
Making
saying
people infertile.
is, I got both doses. Now I don't have to pull out.
Well, of
I don't
course.
know.
It's
Like I said, in
good
the
experiment,
utopia
I guess.
scenario,
This is
it was
gonna
only
help me hit it and
50%.
quit it so much.
50% of the first wave or something like that of the vaccine. Maybe it was only 20%. It wasn't all of it, but it was some ratio of the first wave of the vaccine
Mhm.
would sterilize a certain number or a certain percentage of the people it was administered to. And then so on and so forth for every subsequent time they pulled off this same thing, saying, oh God, the same flu is back. It's evolved a new thing. We need a different vaccine. Different vaccine comes out. It has this same thing. A certain percentage of the doses administered.
You mean
will make
like a
people
booster
infertile.
that you have to take 3 months after you're fully vaccinated, like they're doing in
Yeah,
America?
exactly like that.
Oh,
booster shots.
Curious. Mm.
Wait,
But
wait.
it's
Wouldn't it
weird
be
the
easier to like just like
parallels
inject
to this fucking insanity.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be easier to just like inject uranium into everyone? They die in like a few months from radiation poisoning.
Dude, that's the thing. That just kills people outright. That's terrible. They don't want to be seen completely as the villains.
I think if they
got to tiptoe around the tulips.
Oh yeah,
a little
instead
bit.
now they can be like, it's all on Pfizer. They shouldn't have rushed the research process.
Yeah, and
exactly.
this way they can say that was
pass the
not
buck this way.
intended. Oops, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
And
side
then
effect.
so they're not killing us; they're just killing future generations.
Well, and all of the manufacturing companies of the vaccines are
you can see Stanley think
they-
really hard because when his IQ increases by 50 points, he starts blinking like a repeatedly.
Like he's Tourette.
His brain just goes.
anyway. Oh God, what was I saying? You interrupted my train of thought.
That's what I do.
The vaccine manufacturing companies aren't liable for anything that happens in the long term with the vaccines because of the short term requirement to utilize them.
They pumped it out fast.
Right.
Yeah.
They made it super quick. They fucking spread it out to the population without years of testing and seeing what,
is
if
how it
any,
was,
long-term
yeah.
effects it has.
Yep.
And now they're not liable if there are any sort of long-term effects
Right.
in any way.
So they just have guinea pigs that they don't have to care for.
Precisely.
Very nice.
We're all
Lab
just
This guy.
we're all lab rats. I'm getting my second dose probably tomorrow. So
Excellent. I'm already.
You got your second
I'm full
dose,
vax.
Aaron?
Yep.
I think it's weird that we now actually also like, and we weren't supposed to talk about this, but whatever, we're talking about COVID. I think it's weird that now we refer to like, it's like there's vaccinated people, but then fully vaccinated people. That's super weird. Like there's a hierarchy. It's like I got my first dose, and then I had like family members who were like, no, you can't come over until you get your second dose because you're gonna spread it still. And I was like, what?
I mean,
is that how this works?
Even fully vaccinated people still spread it. Like the vaccine doesn't make you immune to the virus.
Exactly.
It just
So
reduces.
so-
the point is that it
but
reduces
they're all-
the effect.
they
So if
were
you
all-
do catch it, you won't fucking die.
Yeah, but their whole house was already like quote unquote
Presumably.
fully vaxxed, right? But I don't know. They were quoting something saying that the Delta variant grows inside vaccinated people. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me.
I saw
But
a picture
I'm
of this
gonna-
guy.
Okay.
Oh.
I was just
He got like his first dose or whatever. His whole abdomen, like probably from like his abs all the way down, like inflated like a tire. It looked like, and this guy's like fit. He's a jiu-jitsu guy I follow,
Right.
and his biceps like swelled up, like he looked like Ronnie Coleman. They were just like puff, like those guys who inject oil
right.
in their arms
Yep.
and shit. That's what it looked like, and his eyes were like almost bulging out of his face, like
So
2 days after he got the first dose, and I was like, what?
well, they should really warn you: don't take the vaccine unless you're off the steroids. He's probably like 2 weeks post cycle.
Hella immunosuppressed.
Yeah, I mean, definitely people are having adverse reactions to it, and there's just nothing we're going to be able to do about that. But
Well, there are adverse reactions to every
you could
vaccine in
not take
existence,
it.
but that's why there's a herd immunity level where it's like, okay, like 70, 75 to 80% of the population has it. The rest don't need it because a large percentage of those remaining people, not including the anti-vaxxers, will be people that legitimately can't take the vaccine because they're allergic to penicillin or some other thing that's in the vaccine. Like my mom can't take a bunch of vaccines because she's got these medical allergies. Like she legitimately has these.
okay,
So we're not
So-
sure if she can take this vaccine for the same reason.
right. Okay. That's fair enough. So I guess it's my turn to talk about the Georgia Guidestones, and this is what I think, okay? After everything we've talked about, we know that the Georgia Guidestones are there in case humanity was destroyed in the 20th century, right? Late 20th century during the Cold War. They were worried about nuclear warfare. They put it there and teach people mathematics and how our modern calendar system worked, and to give them general rules to rule society by. And the group who made that is probably the same group that founded the New World Order. And I think that we live in that age. I think for the next 50 years, you'll see more and more of the things on the list for the Georgia Guidestones just become real. I think you'll see things like the guiding of reproduction and the changing of world and global politics. And I definitely think we're leaning more towards the technocratic societies and corporatocracies. So,
I think we do you think what do you mean by technocratic society?
so there will be have you seen Elysium?
Is that like what you mean?
Have you seen Elysium?
Yeah.
So that's part of a technocratic system. The people up in the sky, they live forever, right? They're a different caste of society, and they're the ruling class. And in that movie, they live above them, right? Like in a heaven, essentially. They live on a ring in the sky, a ring world, by the way, which is called a. Oh, I know this one. I'm never gonna remember it. It's some sort of. It has a fancy name, but. Anyways, that's a technocracy. So it's like the technology is ruling society. And another example would be like if we put an AI in charge, right? An AGI, artificial general intelligence, that made a lot of our global dispute resolutions and everything, that would be a technocracy. Technocratic. Let me just make sure I'm not making up words here. Technocracy. The government or control of a society or industry is by an elite of technical experts. So yeah, actually, I did that right. I have to find it correctly. I'm proud of myself. I can graduate now from conspiracy school.
That's definitely 3 gold stars from me.
Thank you. But yeah, I think corporations and technical experts are going to rule this next century, 100%. Everybody looks at people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, a super rich, technologically advanced company, and we let them do whatever, and we revere them. Yeah, we do. They're like the gods of the last age, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone has did I tell you guys about Amazon sidewalks? Because this is like,
oh yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, so like, so all of the Amazon devices, the Echo, the Ring Light, all that stuff, they had high frequency radio transmitters inside of them already produced that weren't in use because they weren't allowed to, and they just updated their terms of service years later, which was recently, last month, and so they could create an Amazon sidewalk. And basically it allows them to communicate at a Bluetooth frequency
with each other, with nearby devices,
yeah,
and create
they no longer
a
have to
sidewalk of sorts.
Yeah. So the other thing people don't realize about like Alexa dots, right, is that they have no voice recognition software in them at all. It's just a microphone with a connection to the internet, and then the data goes into the internet, gets sent to an Amazon data center where it gets broken down into a script similar to what the algorithm does on YouTube to demonetize me for talking about COVID, and it piles it down into a script, and on that script, when Alexa, the word pops up, she lights up. And so when you say Alexa to Alexa in your room and she lights up right away, that's how long it takes for them to get your data. So it's constantly compressing all of your audio into a script 24 hours a day. And then if you read the terms and conditions, I'm going to start a series, by the way, on YouTube here where I just go through terms and conditions with people. If you go through it, I don't think there's anything in there that they say, by the way, we'll delete this. So they probably, if you have one in your house, it just records all day and all that stuff is put in there. But it does say in there that the use of those devices and the access that they provide can be provided to the law enforcement if need be. So if you were suspected to be a terrorist or whatever, they could take your audio files and just read through it for the last however long. Anyways, so these Bluetooth frequency transmitters inside of them, so now all it has to do is be plugged in. Doesn't even have to be connected to Wi-Fi. and you don't have to enable Wi-Fi sharing or whatever in order for them to use them. They just need to be powered on and within range of another Alexa device to transmit all that data directly through the
goodness,
Amazon
yeah.
devices themselves back to an Amazon data center from whichever one is connected to the internet. So basically, it's like a voluntary Big Brother program, right? So it's like the company does stuff like that, but we revere their founder. And that's the society that we live in now. Elon Musk lives in a whole different level of society than we will ever possibly get to as who we are. Or if we do, by the way, best friends. I hope you need a butler. But you know, and he lives up there, and so he should be super far out of touch. And I think he is sometimes when he shares like crazy memes that like destroy governments and stuff. But still, we revere them, and we revere them like gods. And that's the age we live in, and that's the age that was realized we would be living in. And the group that made that Georgia Guidestones is the group that is going to be in control for the next foreseeable future. If we don't have a massive war, I think that would be a good indication that there's a global ruling class, because history has a chance of repeating itself. It just does that. And so we should be due for another catastrophic war. So I would say
it's hard to fight wars now.
I know. Usually
assured destruction is on the table.
Yeah.
For like
So I say either there's a group in control of the world, like a new world order, that's preventing devastating war in favor of exploitation of all humanity, or we're going to see a massive war this century, fought in a weird way with, I don't know, probably like heat-seeking drones or something, right?
Railguns.
Yeah.
It'll likely wipe out the 7 billion people that.
Yeah.
Or
but
I
don't think that's what we're in for this century. I don't think we're in for a big war. I think we're in for.
Did they actually make those satellite super weapons that were being talked about like a decade ago?
Which one? Well, they have magnetic
the one that
acceleration
it's like
cannons.
it's like the giant tungsten rods
Yeah.
they launch at the Earth, and it's
Yep,
worse than a
those are
nuclear
real.
explosion by like 10 degrees.
Yeah,
Yep, there you
those
go.
are real. Yep.
Yep.
It was 100% real.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a completely finished thing, but yeah. So it's worse than any sort of nuclear weapon. It can wipe an entire country off of the fucking world. It's like being hit by a goddamn asteroid, but you know, one that's directed where they want it to be.
I'm going to just touch on this real quick, straight from Amazon's website. Many of smart devices in our homes today rely on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections to stream music to nearby speaker, to help video doorbell notify us when a package is delivered. But these connections only extend so far. On the other hand of the spectrum, 5G cellular is incredibly important when you need reliable long-distance guaranteed delivery of data, but it can be complex. The space around homes that leaves a middle ground for the devices like sensors and smart lights can benefit from low-cost, low-power, low-bandwidth connections. Customers shouldn't have to settle for connected devices that lose functionality past the front door, which is why we're excited to introduce Amazon Sidewalk, right? So they're saying improved connectivity. But yeah,
Improved connectivity that they control completely. It's not even your device anymore. It's their device.
Yeah, they now have
You
their own
just get to
private
use
network.
You're leasing it essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Amazon Sidewalk is a long-term effort to greatly extend the working range of low bandwidth, low power smart light sensors and other low-cost devices customers installed at the edge of their home network. Using the 900 megahertz spectrum, we are developing a new protocol we can increase the connection range of these devices by more than 1/2 mile, 1 kilometer. With Amazon Sidewalk, customers will be able to place smart devices anywhere on their property, and they'll work great, even if there's dead spots where Wi-Fi and Bluetooth don't reach. So it allows you to have, exactly. So now it can connect to the internet, device to device.
That's things you can put an Amazon Alexa, whatever the hell, out in the middle of your fucking cornfield if you want to, and be like, Alexa, play Despacito.
Yeah, but they didn't tell us anything about this, and they already come with that. The capability has already been built into them, and they've been selling them to us for years. Just waiting.
Where's Snowden when you need him?
Well, he's in Russia, hanging out with the cool people.
Yeah, he's still a fucking war criminal apparently, or whatever the hell.
100%.
Wasn't Trump
he's
talking about like
bastard. One of his platforms for getting elected was that he said he'd pardon it, and then once he was actually elected, he said fuck that.
Yeah, because he's not in
Best
control.
business deal of all.
No, of course he's not. He's a fucking patsy. Every single president for the last few decades, I'm very certain, has just been sitting there being the mouthpiece for the biggest money
For
corporations.
the
back
founders
in
of the
fucking United
Georgia
States.
Guidestone.
There's a hand up their ass, and they're just like this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
Like they don't.
That reminds me of the Bo
That's why they
Burnham
get paid
skit.
so much.
Old-fashioned lobbying.
Oh yeah, the fucking puppet.
The
Oh my
simple
god.
narrative taught in every history class is categorically false and pedagogically classist.
They teach you what they wanna
Didn't
teach
you know the world was built with blood and genocide?
That's how the world works.
That is how the
That is how the
world
world
works.
You go to high school in Canada, you don't even get history class. You just get native studies for 4 years.
Dude, dude, in my high school, they taught us everything
less.
about like just white history. There was like, might as well not have been natives. It was like literally like a 1 day, like 4 paragraphs, and it was like blah 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 blah, and traded with them, and their immune systems weren't strong enough, and so they perished. And you're like, really? That's why 2 million native people died?
Yeah.
There was no guns,
all the
not a
smallpox.
single gun.
Yeah,
You're telling me
until-
there was not one
until-
gun?
In my town, until grade 11 socials class, we didn't learn. We learned very little about the actual genocides that were committed until we
Oh,
were
awful.
seniors in
Yeah.
high school, and then they told us, "Oh, by the way, all the stuff you've learned in previous years was glossing over the fact that we actually walked in and murdered the fuck out of these people because we didn't like them in the way they."
I
talked."
know they do that.
I was
High
like,
school's
"Holy shit!"
High school's done that way. They're like, so this is what we were taught, so we taught you that first, but then we learned the truth, and we told you that for like 6 weeks, so we're good. Now we've done our due diligence.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
in chemistry, they're like, there's actually no such thing as Bohr's model of the atom, and you're like, why did you teach it to me then? It's useless. You're filling my head with useless information. Teach me the right thing first, okay? Also,
Yeah.
if we ever
I love that
teach
they
kids,
teach you outdated
Yeah,
methodologies.
exactly. If we ever teach kids out of 15-year-old textbooks in the 21st century, we're doing a disservice to the world, right? Because
Well-
we could might as well just teach them from a computer.
I mean, the
We'll have
school
way more
system's
modern
not
information.
made for education.
No,
let's
it's
be
not.
honest.
It's made for indoctrination into a class of society of oppression and exploitation. Okay.
Well done.
It's
Well
bad.
said.
Thank
See,
you.
that's why I just skipped school.
Me too. It's-
The whole
Did we
school
all
system
skip
was
school,
designed
and
to
that's why
literally
we're on a
just get us-
conspiracy podcast?
Just to get us used to the 9 to 5 working hours.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just so we
And-
can fit into society like a good little worker bee and shut the fuck up and do our job.
Not me.
No, to-
Not me. That's not going to happen to me. Everyone that watches this is going to support me on Patreon so that I can bring this news to the
Hey.
world.
Look up Cabbage BJJ on OnlyFans, selling toe pics.
I know, but oh man, for me,
Even if they ban the sexual content, my toes not that sexual.
there's nothing in there that says it has to be sexual content.
I thought they
No.
backed out of that.
This is what I'm
They're
going to
not
do.
Yeah,
I'm
allowed
going
to
to.
be
They did
sexual
back up.
content
Yeah,
anymore.
Yeah.
they did.
How long did that take? Like 3 days?
A month.
Yeah.
A month since they announced they were going to remove it, they saw the massive, ridiculous backlash and also realized that they were going to lose like 95% of their profits.
Well, they just made
Yeah.
their first $2 billion, and
Yeah.
and
Well,
That's what
they had
Bo can't
some,
afford.
they had
Lose
some
that kind
fucking,
of money?
apparently they had some high key investors that wanted to say like, we don't want to invest in something
banks.
that's going to be supporting all this porn.
That's right, banks.
So,
Banks that had
yeah.
people investing their millions and billions of dollars in them already. That and then like
That
when
they
you have a
don't actually
lot of
have.
money, all like the vast majority of your investment is like ethical investing, right? It's like if they wanted to make money, they would do like venture capitalism, right? But instead, they're like, no, I would like to they just want to sit in at board meetings every once in a while and be like, and titties on the internet? Are you serious? I can't believe you guys are supporting this group at all. Meanwhile, they're doing a huge service for people in society like me
And Riley's toes.
and Riley's
Yeah.
toes.
Exactly.
Okay, guys.
Huh.
It's been basically an hour and 20 minutes since we started this. I think we should call it there.
That's a rapperooski.
It's a rapperooski.
That's a wrap.
You heard it here
fucking way to go.
first,
I know.
folks. So before we end here, if you watch this video and you like this video, don't forget to like this video. Also, give us a comment and let us know if there's any conspiracy topics you want us to cover in the future. This is the whole crew, everyone who's been on so far, except for Blake because we gave up on him. And
He a bitch.
yeah, join the Facebook group that we're about to create, Conspiracy Gamers. And what else? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell because not all of you are watching my videos, and I don't know if I should judge you or blame myself. So next video,
Judge them.
I'll be able to blame myself with my feedback. But thank you guys so much for the support. My YouTube analytics are through the roof. I'm green across the board, which I think is... But I'm also above average for people starting out and going this long. So
And dick size.
Yeah, that's right. Does anyone else have something they want to support? Any socials? Oh, also
Definitely.
follow me on Instagram at SamwellKrom and on Twitch at SamwellKrom, and it's the same everywhere. If that name's in use, it's me. Anyone else?
All right, well, I've got nothing big on socials, but I'm your real dad, and my name's Ryan, and I'm gonna go get some milk and maybe come back next week. So,
Sick.
It's all about the 3.25% for this guy.
Cody, are you going to support your Twitch finally?
No,
No?
not yet.
Okay.
No, not yet.
All right.
It's not time.
Hit up Chansey Gaming.
It does it anyways.
Yeah, I gathered.
You don't have a choice. You're gonna get supported.
Stanley,
Shout outs around.
do you have anything?
Yeah, right. Like I have a life.
You do. You're a beautiful person. Riley?
Nothing.
All right.
Much love.
Okay. Well, peace out, YouTube. We'll see you next week.